Okay. Good good morning there, Africa, and good evening here in Asia. Good morning, everyone, and I hope you're here. Before we start our program, I ask Miss Claire to and to proceed with our prayer. Ma'am Claire,
Yes, po. Hello.
hi, go ahead, Miss Claire.
Yeah, go on.
Heavenly Father, compassion. You're slow to anger and you are abounding in love. We enter your gates today with thanksgiving and praise. We enter your court with praise. We glorify you for the countless ways that you have blessed us. Praise you for the great love that you have shown upon us. Father, as we're gathered once more here for this meeting, we pray that whatever that we're going to pray upon, whatever that the doctor is going to say, we pray that you may set our eyes to the screen and give us an attentive ear to listen to all that he's going to say, and for everything that we're going to do today to go smoothly. Father, we pray that you may come down and dwell amongst us, and that today's webinar is going to go smooth and sound. All these we ask through Christ our Lord. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you very much, Miss
Amen.
Claire,
Amen.
for our prayer. Amen. Okay.
Amen.
Please. Okay, please may I ask everyone to please turn off your microphone and to proceed to our slide view of our doctor. If you see, welcome to our health, and you are here in our slide. Guys, hold on, sit back, relax, and study and learn regarding with our products here in Synergreens. Let's all welcome our naturopathic practitioner. Let's all welcome Joel Horato.
Thank you,
Hi,
JD.
Doc.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Nice to have you around. Anyway, welcome to our health talk. Okay, today we're going to discuss about the products of Synergreens, what's it about, and things that you need to know about it. And we're also gonna be covering a few information about the Cup and Slim or coffee. So to start off, there we go. Our first slide is tagged as more education, less medication. Nowadays, we get involved into the habit of taking medications every now and then, every time we feel something, be it a minor cough, a minor flu, or minor colds. We always succumb ourselves into taking medication, especially over-the-counter products, not knowing actually the root cause of the problem. Actually, having symptoms about these things is not actually the disease. It's not actually the illness, but it is actually the body talking to us. It is our body telling us that there is something wrong inside. We need to experience symptoms for us to be able to assess how are we going to manage our circumstances. Now, given the fact that medication has become a byword, a common practice, actually it has become an habitual practice to us, in our society, because of the media, because of its constant promotion everywhere and anywhere. So we forgot the real essence of health. Like the word healthy self is actually an and a phrase before, meaning to say, heal thyself or healthy self. Having a healthy self is having the capacity to heal thyself, meaning to say, without the intervention of any conventional methods such as medication or surgery or anything for that matter. It is also meaning to say that we have to listen to our body as much as we listen to other people's opinion. We have to analyze what's happening inside us so that we will be able to facilitate a proper management, proper method to actually assess the actual situation inside us, what's happening inside us, rather. Now, it has been quite a while that I've been using this program, more education and less medication. I've been giving health symposiums and health talks around the country, carrying this banner, because I do believe if a lot of people are properly informed and educated on how to manage health and wellness, we will be able to eliminate that high risk of communicable diseases, to say a few. Now, excuse me, there is a what you call lifestyle disease trend nowadays. At the dawn of the 21st century, there evolved a new line of diseases called lifestyle diseases. These are actually non-communicable diseases or diseases far different from malaria, polio, flu, or your common cold or cough. Lifestyle diseases, the name itself pertains to lifestyle, of course. These are not infectious diseases you get from infections, unlike the COVID-19. These diseases has spawned from our common day-to-day activity. I would like to show you the statistics on lifestyle diseases. It is said that this disease is associated with the way a person or a group of people or a community or a society lives. Lifestyle diseases includes such as arteriosclerosis, heart diseases or cardiovascular disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes. These are diseases also associated with smoking, alcohol use, and drug abuse. So if you're going to analyze, these are the things that we commonly see from day to day. We randomly hear of people dying out of hypertension. We randomly hear people dying out of diabetes, and worse, they die out of cancer. Moving on, the actual problem here is malnutrition, actually. The main contributor to diseases or to health in general or wellness in general is nutrition. Ever since from day one of my practice when I graduated 30 years ago, nutrition has always been my pillar, my ground for disease management. It is the old school knowledge that we forgot. We forgot that everything was created for us. At the book of Genesis, we were told any fruit bearing tree, herbs, bushes are for us to eat. Herbs are for us to use for medication. We have deviated away from the healthy lifestyle of nutrition. Nowadays, as long as we can put something in our mouth, that's good. Now we only consider putting something in our mouth, and that's fine with us. But without taking into consideration its health repercussions to us, we never even consider its toll on us after quite some time. So malnutrition is actually, if FYI for your information, war, calamity, and diseases are not the greatest killer in history. Even up until as we talk right now, as we discuss right now, those three that I have mentioned are not the greatest killer. The greatest killer still of mankind is malnutrition. A lot of people are dying every day, be it out of disease or otherwise, because of malnutrition. It's either they die out of starvation, hunger, or they die out of disease brought about by malnutrition. Actually, the greatest killer is malnutrition. And yet we are blinded by the truth that it is the actual culprit. We are blinded by society not to look at it as the root cause or baseline reason. If we experience malnutrition, our body starts to suffer due to the absence of nutrients, especially basic and important nutrients. Our body will start to suffer. We will start to experience intoxication. Malnutrition is the absence of nutrients that we need as raw materials for our body to be able to repair and renew. Intoxication, on the other hand, is the accumulation of toxins, unhealthy substances, synthesized by the body, all right? I repeat, synthesized by the body. This is not the kind of toxins that you think of, such as pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, fumes, mercury, lead. No, they are not the kind of toxins that I am referring to. They are the kind of toxins our body synthesize ourselves. As creatures of nature, we are able to synthesize materials inside our system from raw substances or regular substance. We will convert it into unhealthy substances. Classic example, acids, body acids. Our body produces every day in, day in, day out, acids. We produce hydrochloric acid to digest meat, particularly protein in general. We produce carbonic acids if we live a, what you call it, a slum life. If you are a couch potato, then you are actually experiencing production of carbonic acids. Those are carbon dioxides being retained in the lungs, which we are not breathing out because we are living a sedentary lifestyle, like being a couch potato, or not doing any exercise at all or whatsoever for that matter, or things like that. Another thing that we produce is retinol acid. We produce lactic acid. When you have you experienced working out in the fields for quite a long time? If you experience working in the field for long hours the whole day, the day before, when you wake up in the morning, you feel aches and pains in your joints and your muscles. Those are brought about by formation and accumulation of lactic acids in the muscle fiber. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, we do not just get toxins from outside sources. We just do not get it from fumes, from the lead, from mercury, from paint. We do not get it from just the food we eat, bombarded with pesticides and chemicals as such. We ourselves, our body, produces such toxins. And the number one toxin we produce is called free radicals. Free radicals oxidizes the cells. It is the single most lethal toxins that we produce and the single most lethal toxin that will kill us. It is oxide or free radicals. Our body produces free radicals every time we breathe. Excuse me. Our body produces free radicals every time we breathe. We breathe in oxygen from the air. Our body, particularly our cells, will synthesize the oxygen for use. The oxygen will have a byproduct after synthesizing, and the byproduct is called oxide. Henceforth, the name oxidation or oxidation. Have you ever experienced when you peel an apple or peel a potato or slice an eggplant? Remember when how it darkens, how it begins to tarnish? The process is called oxidation, and that is brought about by the apples, peeled apples, being exposed to oxygen. Have you seen an iron, a metal being eaten up by rust, being corroded? We call it corrosion. But if you're going to go back to your chemistry 101, corrosion is brought about by exposure to oxygen, oxygen in the air. And we ourselves breathes in oxygen. How do we oxidize? Very simple. Basic biology, basic organic chemistry. The red blood cells contains iron. We need iron to transport oxygen from and to the brain. We need iron to transport oxygen from and to the different parts of our body because our cells will never be able to live. Our body will never be able to live. We will never be able to survive with the absence of oxygen. Remember in Genesis, when God created man, he breathed life onto the nostrils of Adam. The breathing of life is actually the oxygen being breathed into us. So if you're going to look back and go back to the basic, we will clearly understand that we need not to expose ourselves to such chemicals because inside our system, inside this great body of ours, we produce already our own poisons. And once the level of toxins escalates to uncontrollable proportions, you fall to a condition rather, called intoxication. That is when the body is bombarded and loaded with toxins. What do you experience? You experience sluggishness, you experience sleeplessness, insomnia. Here in the Philippines, we call it insomnia. Other countries, you call it sleeplessness. Irritability, lethargic conditions. In the States and in some westernized countries, they are having a period of year which they have high incidence of suicides because of lethargic conditions. A lethargic condition or lethargy is brought about by intoxication. Hormonal imbalance among women, having problems with their menstrual period, having problems with ovulation, sexual incapacity among men, low sperm count, very poor motility rate of sperms. Among the advanced in age, they experience wrinkles, fine lines, crow's feet, sagging necklines, sagging jawlines. A lot of people nowadays, they look older than their age. Why? It's because of this intoxication. Look, the first problem, you lack the proper nutrients. The second problem, you accumulate in poison. What's the third problem? Here comes the third, imbalance. Once malnutrition is in effect, once intoxication is in effect, your body, our body, will start to suffer. All 300 plus organs or 11 systems, all 100 trillion cells will start to be corrupted. And take note, I use the word corrupted. All of our body, the whole body, all of our systems will start to be corrupted. When the body gets corrupted, we experience imbalances. Excuse me, my nephew just came in. We experience imbalances such as what? Hypertension, hypotension, increase in blood sugar, drop in blood sugar, chronic headache, chronic aches, pains, countless sleepless nights, just to name a few. All these three, malnourishment, intoxication, and imbalances, they are the three pillars, primary pillars, why we fall down to this illness. You might have heard sometime people ask you, uh, why do you suffer? Why? How does we suffer, or how do we acquire such diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, and cancer? A lot of people will be asking us that. I came to the point of asking, there is a hypertension has a different pathology. Tumor, cystic growth, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, any disease has its different pathology. Now I came to the question, is there a general consensus? Is there a common denominator or denominators governing diseases? One thing we discovered, the answer is yes. And what are those? All these three. So what I'm trying to imply here is you need not to know the specifics of any diseases, the specifics of how it is being acquired, how it manifests, how it will progress. All we need to know are the basics. Lack of nutrients, accumulation of wastes, and tissue damage. All these three, put them together, well, that is a perfect formula for illness. What illness? I don't know. That depends on your inherent weakness. Let's say, for example, if my cardiovascular system is weak, my illness would be cardiovascular disorders. If my kidneys are weak, my illness would be urinary disorders. Your illness is always based on your inherent weakness or weaknesses for that matter. So what else do we need to know? Since that is the scenario, lack of nutrients, intoxication, and imbalance, a lot of people nowadays, they are dying too young and suffering too low. We are not actually living up to our optimum age. According to an article about cellular theory, experts are saying that the human cell or the human body can live up to 120 years. But now, according to the Bible, we can live up to 70, 80 if we are strong. But looking at the statistics, the global statistics, when I was doing this, this is what I discovered. Key facts. Non-communicable diseases kill 41 million people each year, equivalent to 71% of the global population. Just imagine. Excuse me, sorry for that. That is 71% of all deaths globally. Each year, 15 million people die from non-communicable diseases or NCDs between the ages of 30 and 69 years. So meaning to say, a lot of people are experiencing this at a very young age. People at the very prime years of their life are actually suffering now. People at the very prime years of their life are dying young. Over 85% of these premature deaths occur in low and middle income countries. Why low and middle income? Very simple. In low income countries, malnutrition is very rampant. Of course, we know that for a fact. In middle income countries, malnutrition is also rampant. Why? Because they do not eat the right kind of food they are supposed to eat, even if they can afford it and even if it is available at their disposal. So middle income and low income countries vary. Yes, they do. But it boils down to nutrition. As you can see, low income countries lack the food that provides nutrients. Middle income country lacks the discipline to eat the right kind of food with the right kind of nutrients. It boils down to nutrition again. Cardiovascular disease? Well, cardiovascular diseases account for most NCD deaths. Meaning to say, cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer. Cardiovascular disease in this category of illness, NCD, that's what I'm talking about. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer or the leading cause of death. It contributes 17.9 million people annually. Right? Just imagine the figures. Followed by cancers of different kind, which is 9 million. Respiratory diseases such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or COPD, 3.9 million. And diabetes at 1.6 million. Before, cancer was the third largest killer lifestyle disease globally. Now it is the second. Okay? Followed by diabetes. Diabetes was the second then, way back then, 23 years ago. See, what are we trying to imply here? As technology evolves, as every country, every society evolves, diseases, they don't evolve. They just increase in numbers. They just increase in statistics. These four groups of diseases account for over 80% of all premature NCD deaths. Again, what's an NCD? Non-communicable disease or lifestyle diseases. Again, what's lifestyle diseases? They are diseases you get from your day-to-day living. Now, included in your day-to-day living are tobacco use, smoking that is, physical inactivity. A lot of us is already modernized and urbanized. We don't do the farm anymore. We don't tend the crops anymore. We don't tend to the woods anymore. Meaning to say, we are living a sluggish lifestyle. Physical inactivity is also a pillar or a foundation for having lifestyle disease. It's a sedentary lifestyle. Being a couch potato, that's deadly. That is 200 times, again, I repeat, 200 times more lethal, more deadly than stress. Harmful use of alcohol. Remember, take note of the sentence I said. It is said, harmful use. It did not say use of harmful alcohol. There's a difference between the two. Harmful use of alcohol and unhealthy diets are all measures to increase the risk of dying from a non-communicable disease. So these 5 pointers are actually eye-openers for us. Especially pointer 4, the fourth and the fifth pointers are actual eye-openers to us that we should take into considerations the way we go about our daily life. As you can see, I have footnote the sources of information. These are informations gathered from the WHO dated June 1, 2018, 2 years ago, and here is the link. You can copy it or see it if you want to see if I'm telling the truth. Now, furthermore, so question is, who is at risk of such diseases? As we said a while ago, people are dying too young, early age of 30 going to 60. At the prime years of their life, they're already experiencing such problems. So the question is, who is or who are at risk of such diseases? Well, here they are. People of all age groups, irregardless, be it an infant. In Brazil, they have diabetic patients there as young as 2 years old. It's suffering from diabetes type 2. Just imagine, from Brazil and Mexico alone, they have cases of diabetes as young as 2 years old. Here in the Philippines, we have cases of dialysis, kidney dialysis patients as young as 16 and 18 years old. We have cases of colon cancer as young as 9 years old, where for a fact, colon cancer are diseases of people age 60 above. And yet, we have patients as young as 9 years old. So, who are at risk again? All age groups, regions, and countries are affected. So there is no, excuse me, there is no exemption to the rule. Be it in any continent, wherever you are in the world, you are no exemption to non-communicable diseases. Why? Because of lifestyle. Several decades ago, before the Westerners uh, have uh, culturized or modernized the Antarctic. Before the Westerners sets foot on the Antarctic, on the North Pole, there were no cases of cardiovascular diseases. There were no cases of cancers in those area of the hemisphere. Why? Well, I'm not saying the Westerners did something bad. What I'm trying to say is this: the Westerners introduced modernization into them. Whenever there is modernization, we tend to forget, or we tend to forget, rather, nature. Whenever there is modernization, we drew away from nature. Once you drew away from nature, you violate the balance of health. When the Eskimos learned how to cook, when the Eskimos learned how to eat preserved foods, when the Eskimos learned how to eat processed foods, you know what happened? They have learned what arteriosclerosis is. They have learned what cardiovascular diseases are. They have learned what cancers are all about. Why? Because they themselves started experiencing them. Now, so there is no exemption where, be it you're in Africa, be you in Asia, be you in Europe, be you in North America, be you on South America, wherever you are, there is no exemption. Wherever there is modernization and separation from nature, there will always be retribution to health. So these conditions are often associated with older age groups. But evidence shows that 15 million of all deaths attributed to NCDs occur between ages of 30 and 69 years old. So meaning to say, despite the fact that we see this condition to people in advanced age, it is not a denial, and it is not it is not a minor thing that people ages from 30 above is also, or are also, suffering from these problems. Of these premature deaths, over 85%, again, are estimated to occur in low and middle income countries. Children, adults, and elderly are all vulnerable to the risk factors contributing to NCDs, whether from, take note, unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, exposure to tobacco smoke, or harmful use of alcohol. The study, this is actually a study done by the WHO. The WHO had isolated 3 primary factors. Again, unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, and exposure to harmful substances. The WHO did not said lack of medicine, lack of prescription, no visit to your doctors, no laboratory checkups. WHO did not say so. Again, WHO implied 3 things: unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, and harmful substances. So what do we do? What do we do? We go back to nature. We go back to nature. We were told, let the fruits and vegetables be thy food, and the herbs be thy medicine. If we are going back to the scriptures, before the time of Noah, before the great flood, the longest, oldest life expectancy then was, if I'm not mistaken, Pastor Gossi, correct me if I'm wrong. If my memory serves me right, the oldest life, the oldest age was 990 something. Yeah, during the time of Noah. And then after the great flood, the oldest age was cut down to 180 years old, if I'm not mistaken, if my memory serves me right. Here's the question. From 900 years old to 100 years old, after the great flood, it was cut down to 1%. Question is why? The answer is very simple. Because during the time of the great flood, they do not have any access to any fruits, any vegetables, or any herbs. They only have access to meat. They only have access to animal. So animal source are their primary food. That was the time men were allowed to eat meat. That was the time men were allowed to cook meat. So that was the time our life expectancy was cut down short from 900 years old to 100 years old. If I am not implying, the Bible did not say it word by word. But what I'm trying to imply is this. If you are going to connect natural lifestyle, natural organic method of living to the biblical accounts, you will see a very, very strong connection. Before the great flood, we eat fruits, vegetables, and herbs. After the great flood, we eat meat. We cook meat. We process meat. Before the great flood, our lifespan is reached up to 900 years old. After the great flood, our lifespan was shortened down to 100 years old. It has something to do with food. It has something to do with nature. So now, nutrition is a very critical part of health. We have to take into consideration that having better nutrition is relative to better health. Improve infant, child, and maternal health, stronger immune system, safer pregnancy and childbirth, lower risk of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and cardiovascular disease, and of course, long life. If we will go back to our ethnic people, ethnic groups, people living in the in tribes, we also have those natives here in the Philippines. If we will look back and study them, we will see that these people seldom, these people seldom suffer from lifestyle diseases. You live in the same terrain with them, you live in the same country with them, but how come they are the exception to the rule? Again, it's modernization. Again, It is embracing nature, going back to the basic, going back to nature. And nature tells us nutrients. Nutrients are necessary to good health. That's what nature is telling us. Now, so malnutrition will be a big problem for us if we are not going to see, or if we are not going to give chance to ourselves to reform. Now, what's the difference, Joe? I'm taking nutrients from synthetic. I have my basic food supplement from the drugstore. The basic food supplements given to me by my doctor. I have nothing against that. Let us just have some comparison. Okay. Synthetic supplements are derived from raw materials like organic supplements. But the difference is that they lack the important cofactors that makes them very, very effective inside the body. Like say, for example, if you take too much vitamin C synthetic form, it's not good for you. But if you're going to take vitamin C from a natural source, even if it's too much, it's not bad for you. Another difference is this. Since you synthesize, you process the nutrient, once it enters the body will not be able to metabolize it properly. Meaning to say, it is not actually a complete food. Like say, for example, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin D, you just get the exact vitamin. If it's vitamin C, it's just vitamin C. It does not possess the relative cofactor the body needs in order for it to be utilized fully and properly. That's the difference between synthetic and natural. So what do I need to do? Well, again, we go back to the basic. Let the food be thy medicine and the medicine be thy food, according to Hippocrates. And Hippocrates, by the way, is the grandfather or the father of modern medicine. Hippocrates said, he stipulates that every disease or imbalances can be corrected by taking the right kind of food, because the food, again, gives you the nutrients to repair. So what we're going to do, what we do is a holistic approach. Why holistic? Because it is a very, very effective method, cost effective, cost efficient, and practically it's safe. Since we experience malnutrition, we introduce nutrition to correct the problem. Since we experience intoxication, we cleanse, we eliminate toxins. Since we experience imbalance, we repair. All these three put together, if we are going to follow all these three all together, we achieve wellness. That's the benefit. So it's very, very basic. It's very, very simple. A lot of people have been asking me, how do you stay fit? How do you stay healthy? How do you stay not being affected by diseases at your age? And by the way, I'm already 43 years old and I have two grandchildren already. And I'm running on my 44th. But I still feel very, very young, very, very energetic, and very, very lively. Why? I follow the very simple and basic rule of nature. Eat right, clean right, balance right. If you are going to provide the proper nutrition, naturally, this will take effect. If you are going to provide the proper nutrition, naturally, this will take effect. Actually, with proper nutrition, these two, cleansing and repair, will take effect immediately once you acquire proper nutrition. So how do we acquire proper nutrition? You said a while ago that synthetic drugs or synthetic supplements are this and that. Well, you look for an alternative, of course. Again, as I said, the idea is go back to nature. Identify the root cause. The most important method is to identify the root cause. If you identify the root cause, you can eliminate the effect. Diseases, non-communicable diseases such as cardiovascular disease, hypertension, diabetes, cancers, all those diseases, all those conditions that we talked a while ago from the previous slides, they are all just effects. They are not the root cause. They are just effects. So we isolate the root cause. What are the root cause? Malnutrition, intoxication, and then imbalance. How do we address? Nutrition, cleanse, repair. Because the root cause is actually the actual problem, not the disease. The disease is not the problem. It is just an effect. If the disease is not the problem, why is my doctor giving me medications? Very simple. Your doctors were not oriented regarding nutritional therapy. Since they were not oriented as such, they do not accept nutritional approach, nutritional therapy. But that does not prove that it is not effective. Next reason why they give you medication, because that is their orientation from school. Another reason is that they are trying to help you arrest, if not eliminate, but minimize symptoms that are detrimental to your health. That's what they're doing with medication for you. So what do we do? Very simple. We repair. Our body are made up of cells. Our cells are made up of DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, the smallest component that makes us all of us. When the DNA is damaged, the cells are damaged. When the cells are damaged, we experience disease. You do not treat the disease, as I said, because the disease is just an effect. The root cause are cellular damage. So we repair. Then repair is a collection of processes by which a cell identifies and corrects the damage to DNA. Look, DNA repair, okay, can be identified by cells, and the cells corrects the damage. So meaning to say, we have this inherent capacity, we have this inherent ability to correct or repair ourselves. Isn't that fascinating? I've been suffering this. I've been experiencing this. Did I not know that my body can actually repair itself? Yes, it can. It can. You just did not know about it. So our body can actually repair itself. It says here. And this is actually, this DNA repair technology has received a Nobel Peace Prize award. There is already a technology for this existing right now. So, question is this: how do we get to help our body repair itself? Again, food. Food, my friends, food. In every repair, In every process of repair, you require materials. It is a fact that there are significant effects of dietary supplements. So being healthy can also be pegged to dietary supplements. Because 5 out of 8 intervention studies suggests that food components and nutrients are relative to cell repair. As much as you would need materials for this, you would also need materials for this. Say for example, you are building a house or repairing a house. Whenever you rebuild or you repair, you do not just wave your hand and it appears from the air. You need to acquire materials. You need materials to repair and to build. Very much the same with the human body. Very much the same with the human cells. Our body already has its innate capacity to repair. And I repeat, take note of this. Our body has the innate capacity to repair. All you need to do is provide the raw materials, such as food. Hey, I eat every day. I have a breakfast, I have a lunch, I have a midday snack, I have everything. How come I don't get well? Because eating is not relative to health. It does not necessarily mean if you eat, you're healthy. Among the food that we need to take considerations of are such as barley grass. Barley grass has been consumed by the Roman soldiers, by the Roman Empire, way back then. Centuries ago. They used barley to boost their energy. Because every 100 grams of barley consists of 354 calories. It is approximately 2.3 grams of fat. Meaning to say, it is packed with energy. Barley is very nutritious and a very good source of energy. That's why the Roman soldiers use it before. Excuse me. All right. So why take Synergreens? Another thing that we should take into consideration is wheatgrass. Wheatgrass is a very rich source of protein. Protein as our primary building blocks, the amino acids, okay? Wheatgrass contains 17 amino acids, the building blocks of protein, and wheatgrass juice, if you put it in a juice, if you take it as a juice, is one of the best sources of living chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigmentation of plants. Okay? And by the way, now in our next intervention, in our next session, an intervention rather, we will be discussing this chlorophyll. Anyway, wheatgrass is a very rich source of living chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is very amazing in cleansing the blood. And then spirulina. This is your blue-green algae. This is what makes your lake turn green. It's an algae. So spirulina is considered to be and recognized by the UNESCO, by WHO, and by UNICEF to be a superfood. This is the only complete food available on Earth. It is so complete that NASA uses this and turns this into flakes and biscuits as food for astronauts and cosmonauts. This is nutritionally dense. During my when I had my first clinic before, I used to eat this. I used to take this for at least 3 months without anything, without any rice or any bread or whatsoever. Just spirulina alone. Believe me. This is a very very powerful. This is a very very nutritious herb. It's not an herb. It's an algae. Okay? It's an algae. It's packed with several kinds of nutrients. This is the world's complete food. Then we have moringa, malunggay. We call it malunggay here in the Philippines, but actually this is moringa. This is valued as a miracle vegetable. It is so nutritious that this is very very important. You are missing something if you have not been eating moringa. It has a nutrient that helps lactating mother to produce milk. It has a nutrient called lactase. That's why here in the Philippines, mothers who had given birth are advised to consume a lot of its leaves to produce more breast milk because it contains an enzyme that helps breastfeeding mothers produce more milk. This is very very wonderful. This vegetable is very 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 nutritious. And I think in Africa, some parts of Africa, they eat the seeds, the ripe seeds. And bitter gourd or bitter melon. Several researches had been done to this peculiar, nasty looking vegetable. Though its look, don't be deceived by its look, it is very, very nutritious and it has a significant benefit for people suffering from diabetes. It helps people lower bad cholesterols. It helps people reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. And it helps people lower their blood sugar. It's very, very helpful for people suffering with diabetes. And green apple, Swiss green apple to be particular and to be exact. What's with it? Well, the Swiss green apple has its fame because it has an anti-aging properties. It is actually very, very powerful and helpful, actually, very, very helpful in promoting stem cell production. It helps our body produce more stem cells. Henceforth, in effect, our stem cells helps our body repair quickly and effectively and efficiently. What's our stem cells? Stem cells are the cells in our body that acts as repairmen. What they do, they go to any part of our body and then they repair any damage in there. So the green apple, particularly Swiss green apples, have this particular and specific, very important nutrient that helps our own stem cells reproduce. And celery. A lot of things can be said in these vegetables, in this vegetable. One, it contains apigenin, which plays a role in traditional medicine as a very effective anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, and an antioxidant agent. What's an antioxidant? I'll tell you later. Well, anyways, apigenin is a nutrient innate in celery. But that's not just the thing that I would like to say about celery. Celery is an alkaline vegetable. If you want to slim down, cut on your tummy or on your waistline, cut your waistline size, you should snack on celery every morning. 3 stalks to 4 stalks of celery every morning, and watch your weight go down. Then broccoli. Again, just like the previous one, a lot of things can be said to this peculiar vegetable. But one thing I remember about broccoli, it contains a nutrient progenestin, okay, which helps male inhibit growth of inhibits prostate cancer. Broccoli is very helpful to men suffering from prostate problem. And of course, it is great source of vitamin K, vitamin C, very good source of folate or folic acid, and also provides potassium. In our next session, I'll be discussing what is folic acid and vitamin K. What are their benefits? These two are fantastic vitamins. Wait when you hear about them. And spinach. Two things I can say about this vegetable. One, I grew up with it. My mom used to cook this with the sardines before, and I really love this vegetable. The second thing that is very that I cannot forget from spinach is that this is a very good. This helps you for bowel movement. This is very effective in bowel movement. This helps you lose more of that stuff inside you, inside the tummy of yours. Again, of course, it helps you lower blood sugar and provides you with extensive array of vitamins. Leeks, right? Not much of a very significant vegetable, but it contains an important amount of flavonoid. Flavonoid is an antioxidant called chiempherol, which has repeatedly been shown to help protect our blood vessels lining from damage, including damage by overly reactive oxygen molecule. What are overly reactive oxygen molecules again? They are free radicals or oxides. What does this mean? It means leeks helps you prevent hypertension. That's what it's saying. Interestingly, one of the mechanisms involved in this blood vessel protection may involve increase in production of nitric oxide. What's a nitric oxide? It is an element we need in our blood vessel for our blood vessel to expand. If our blood vessel cannot expand, it will rupture, it will explode, leading to a condition called stroke or heart attack. Simple as that. So, though humble this vegetable is, this is very important for people suffering from hypertension or cardiovascular disorders. And then we have stevia, last of the band. Stevia or steviol glycosides is a plant, a bush, a very small bush, okay? It's a perennial plant, which is 300 times sweeter than sugar, okay? Sweeter than sugar, 300 times sweeter than sugar. Say, for example, uh, if you're drinking a juice and you want sugar in it, 1 tablespoon of sugar is equivalent, 1 tablespoon of stevia of this herb is equivalent to 300 tablespoons of sugar. That's how potent this herb is. But then again, despite its very sweet flavor, it is 0 calories, meaning to say it is safe for people who are at risk of obesity. It is safe for people who are very conscious of gaining weight. And it is very safe for people who is watching their blood sugar or diabetics. Why? because this has no effect on your blood sugar. It is safe, a natural sweetener, but appears to provide a lot of health benefits, especially as an antioxidant. These are the ingredients you have in Synergreens. These are your greens. These are the 11 reasons why you should take Synergreens. One, why take Synergreens? You have 11 reasons. You have your barley grass as one reason. Your second reason is your wheatgrass. Okay. Third reason is your spirulina. And then your moringa. Another reason is your bitter gourd. Another reason is your green apple. Another reason is your broccoli. Another reason is your celery. And then another reason is your spinach. And another reason is your leek. Another reason for that is your stevia. You have all 11 reasons to take Synergreens. Just to answer the question, why take Synergreens? All this helps your body. All this helps you invigorate, helps you revitalize, helps you energize. 3. Now, why Synergreens again? I am just reiterating the question so that you will commit it into memory. Why Synergreens again? Well, first, if you're going to look at the name and ask why, what's with the name? The name is derived from two words. One is synergy, and the other one is greens. What is synergy? Synergy is the interaction or corporation of two or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. So in simple explanation, spirulina might be the superfood, but spirulina alone cannot do such an effect compared to Synergreens with combined ingredients. Whenever you combine one vegetable with another vegetable, you tend to amplify the benefits of those ingredients or those vegetables. In this case, we amplify the green foods. We amplify the benefits of each 11 ingredients, particularly the chlorophyll. So, upon doing this, upon taking this, we start to nourish. Since all 11 ingredients possesses their spectrums of vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and antioxidants, we actually nourish our body. Once we nourish our body, again, science has told us that the body will restore. Why? Because the DNA can repair itself. Once the body restores, the body will balance. Once nourishment takes effect, restoration takes effect, balance takes effect, what happens to you? You feel healthy. You feel invigorated. You feel revitalized. You feel energetic. Again, why should I take Synergreens? Synergreens supports detoxifying and alkalizing, anti-inflammatory effect, better digestion, increased consumption of greens, chlorophyll for the blood, natural weight loss, clearer skin, mental clarity and focus, antioxidants, and increased in energy. So, what do you actually get in every glass of Synergreens you drink? Have you not asked that? Well, you get this array of vitamins. Your basic vitamins from vitamin A, B complex, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. You also get plant source minerals such as copper, zinc, iron, magnesium, potassium, and a wide spectrum of antioxidants. And enormous variations of enzymes. We will cover this next time. So why take Synergreens again? Before I answer that question, again, I would like you to answer this question. If you ask me why take Synergreens, try answering these questions first. Why should I have a spare tire? Yeah. Why do we need to take spare tires? Why do I need to take Synergreens? I'm not ill yet. I'm not old yet. I'm not suffering from anything yet. I'm still very energetic. I'm very lively. I'm still very young. Why take Synergreens? For you to get the answer to that, you must be able to answer why you should have a spare tire. And I think you know what I'm driving at. I think you know the answer why you should have a spare tire. Once you know why you should have a spare tire, you already answered your own question why you should take Synergreens every day. You'll never know. You don't need to be ill before you make any actions towards it. Okay? So that's the end of our Synergreens overview. And I will just be passing a few of slides for our coffee. Okay, here it is.
Okay. Sir, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe we can have our coffee soon.